Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to the Florida Life. Today I'm actually at a restaurant called Krystal. Now, I was told about Krystal from my good friend Mike Martin, who knew that I went to Orlando to get White Castle, and he said that Krystal is White Castle. So I had to come check it out for myself and see if this place is truly White Castle. Now, not that I'm a big fan of White Castle, but if anybody's ever eaten at White Castle, you know it was the late night spot that you went to when there was nothing else open after you left the club and you just had to get something in your stomach. You know White Castle, murder burgers. So we're going to find out today if Krystal is anything like White Castle. So we're going to jump into the drive-thru, order up some food, and we're just gonna do a quick comparison and see if it's exactly like White Castle or not. Let's go. Hi, could I just get a number 1 with cheese with Diet Coke?
Number 1 with cheese and a Diet Coke?
Yes.
Would you like to add an apple pie? They just came out fresh.
No. Do you have onion rings by any chance?
No, sir, we don't.
No. Okay, so then just the number 1 with the cheese and with the Diet Coke.
All right. It's on $12.33 for 4.
Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, so $12 for 4 sliders or Krystals. They call their burgers Krystals. No onion rings. Right away, that's not great. I always like to get onion rings with my White Castle burgers, but we'll see what their fries are like. I've gotten the fries obviously from White Castle before, but let's just see how this goes. I'm very curious to see what these burgers taste like. I'm very curious to see if they are in fact the direct competitor to White Castle. But we'll see.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well, how are you?
You had the number 1, right?
Yes. Thank you.
And we know you got it, okay?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Take care.
You too.
All right. So the smell that was coming through the drive-through window smells like White Castle. So we're gonna find a little spot to park up here in the lot and try out these Krystals. All right, it's a nice spot right here. All right, guys. So let's see. Got the goodies right here. Krystal. Kind of smells like White Castle a little bit, but let's see. Alright. So let's start with the fries. Fries are alright. Okay, fries are okay. All right. Let's see here. So, smile and say cheese, please. All right, so the packaging obviously reminds me of White Castle. Same similar style box. I don't know. So yes, they look like White Castle, but this thing looks a little sad, you know. The meat, you know, White Castle had those little holes in the burgers. A little skimpy on the onions a little bit. Okay, so right away, if you're not a fan of mustard on your burgers, and I know that's a down south thing, you might want to ask them to not give you mustard on your burgers. I like the ketchup with the sliders, but it's not exactly hot either, so that's not a plus. Cheese, as you see, it's not really melted that great, but let's just try it and see exactly what it tastes like, if this is actually a direct competitor to White Castle. That first bite kind of takes me back to White Castle just a little bit. Again, it's not hot, so I like my sliders nice and hot. Again, if you're not a fan of mustard on your burgers, then this isn't going to be for you. If I come back again, obviously I'll ask them to not put the mustard, but give me ketchup instead. So they did give me ketchup in the bag, so that's a plus. I'll try that out, and you know, on the next one and see. The next thing that I would say is the bread is different. I know that sounds a little strange to some of you, but the White Castle bread seemed to be a little bit lighter. This bread seems to be a bit more dense, heavier. So that light feeling, you know, you would get that White Castle slider and literally, you know, within a couple of bites, it would be done. This, it's a little bit heavier, which is kind of making me eat it just a little bit slower. Not just because, you know, I'm recording this, but definitely the bread is different. It's a lot denser. So maybe you'll get fuller off of these burgers faster than you would with a regular White Castle slider. But I don't know. So let's see the next one here. Again, this burger, it's not hot at all, which I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that personally, but let's put a little bit of ketchup on this one and see if it makes a little bit of a difference. All right, let's see. So, with the ketchup and the mustard, definitely not a home run for me. That tanginess from the ketchup definitely adds a little bit more flavor to the burger. Not that it's flavorless, but it adds a little bit more, you know, flavor to the burger. I'm definitely not a fan of these sliders with the mustard, but my opinion, it's close. Definitely not a White Castle slider for sure, but it's damn close. Would I recommend it? Hey, if you got that craving for White Castle and you're in Tampa and you don't want to drive all the way to Orlando, I'd say give it a try. I'm not a big fast food eater, but I was definitely craving it. And once I heard that this place was here, I had to try it. But my takeaways, again, the burger not being hot is a turnoff. Of course, with the cheese not being, fully melted, not a deal breaker, but a little turnoff. The mustard on the burger, definite turnoff for me. Some of you may love it, but I would have to ask next time. No mustard. The bread, okay. Like I said, it seems to be a little bit fuller. It's definitely a heavier type of bread. Not saying that the sandwich is heavier than a regular slider from White Castle, but definitely a little bit more denser on the bread. Again, with the regular White Castle slider, you had the holes that they use, to get the steam to go through the burger. I guess that might be exclusive to White Castle. I don't know. But it's close. I'd have to say, all in all, if I would have to rate this place so far on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it, an 8. 7.5, 8. More so closer to the 7.5, only because the burger is cold. Just got it out of the drive-thru. It's not like, I went anywhere. So would these things travel well? Probably not, unless you got them piping hot. But I would say they don't travel well. Not that White Castle's traveled well, but you knew once you got them, you were eating them. But to just get this from the drive-thru, already the burger's cold. Not happy with that. But that's Krystal's, guys. Again, if you're craving that White Castle, come check them out. They have a couple of locations here in Tampa. The one closest by me is closed. So I had to travel, a few miles, about 15 miles. So it was about a 20-minute drive. So it wasn't that bad. But overall, wasn't bad. Wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. Let me try the drink. Is a soda or soda? Yeah, soda's a soda. But that's Krystal's, guys. Check them out. Again, if you have that craving for the White Castle taste, it definitely will remind you of White Castle, but the taste is definitely a little bit different. So I appreciate you guys coming along with me to try out these burgers. Please make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell. I don't know why I'm telling you this, guys. You know the deal already. But I appreciate you guys so much. And I'll see you in the next video.